BackBeat is proudly sponsored by the Santa Barbara Bowl. Welcome to BackBeat, a show highlighting people that make a difference using music in our very own community. I'm Shannon, and we tape our show right here at Playback Recording Studio, a cutting-edge facility for film, television, and music production, located in the beautiful city of Santa Barbara. Coming up, a life-changing event took a young singer from pain to gain. Find out how tenacious Teen Star winner Mary Grace beat the odds and used the power of music for inspiration and healing. And the Santa Barbara Bowl, best known for its stunning views and awesome concerts, gives back by supporting education in the arts and music. We visit Education Outreach recipient Santa Barbara Dance Institute. They give kids the power to be themselves using dance. Also, Boston, Chicago, Phoenix, Orleans, all bands named after cities. And joining that famous list, Buellton. Learn how this local band is using the power of beer to promote their new CD. Plus, mixing country with a little jazz and blues, singer-songwriter Valarie Mulberry talks about her influences and performs a song from her latest CD, The Simple Things. So keep it here and keep it loud. We'll be right back. Santa Barbara Bowl's Education Outreach provides much-needed support for music and performing arts events and programs for area students. $1 of every ticket sold to bowl events helps to fund arts education throughout Santa Barbara County. A big thanks to Playback Recording Studio for supplying the location for BackBeat. Playback Recording Studio is a cutting-edge recording facility for film, television, and music production.
Well, the kids come in on the first day of class and they're nervous and they don't really know what to expect. And then as they progress, you'll really see that they begin to own it.
I used to just not express myself more, but now I just love getting out there.
Clap, clap, stomp, wiggle.
I used to be pretty shy, and now I think I finally found a very good voice that I can speak up with.
Every program, no matter what it is, it ends up in a performance. So for me, what it's really teaching children is that the hard work that they put in for the whole year or however months, the joy that they get out of it, the team that's developed leads to success. Stomp, stomp, clap, wiggle.
And I think it's an amazing opportunity for kids to have this kind of group experience where they get to really put on a performance and have a sense of pride and accomplishment in what they're doing.
I think it really promotes working together, and it helps you get to know the people a little bit better and work as a giant team.
I see that it improves their self-confidence, and I see just the energy level of the students and willingness to be at school really drastically improves.
Our classes do have a very competitive side, but it's a healthy competition.
So at the end of every lesson, there's usually a dance-off, either certain squads versus certain squads, or one student versus one student. And I really see them interested in the competitive aspect of it.
It wasn't very good, and then I just started getting used to it, and I started to get better and better.
Here we go! 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
We're going to use this non-threatening, movement-oriented dance and challenge your child to do a little more than they thought they ever could do, to be a little better than they thought they could. We're really using dance as a vehicle to teach the self-esteem, to teach the teamwork, and to develop their standard of excellence.
Thanks to Santa Barbara Dance Institute and Santa Barbara Bowl for their support. Welcome to BackBeat. With me is singer-songwriter Valarie Mulberry. Thanks for being with me today. So the first thing I noticed right away was your music has a really unique sound behind it. What types of things or different experiences have really influenced your music?
Well, I think one of the elements is where I grew up in Oregon. I listened to a lot of Motown and a lot of country, so it has that sort of rootsy feel to it, and there's a rootsy element. But I also traveled a lot in sunny places, like I lived in Hawaii for 5 years and Vietnam for 2 years, and now in Santa Barbara for 8 years. And so it has kind of a happy, sunshiny element too, and that's why I call it Sunshine Rhythm and Blues.
Love it. Doesn't get much better than that. And Teen Star gave a young singer the chance to believe in herself through music. Mary Grace beat the odds. Check it out.
prior to a year plus ago, she was a very normal, healthy, pre-adolescent, running and dancing and singing and doing all the things that a young person does. When I first met Mary Grace back in October of last year, of 2013, she was in a very, very dire place. She was only able to lie down and was actually even barely able to roll over, partly because of these persistent severe muscle contractions that were unrelenting, but also the incredible pain that accompanies that.
When we were in the room, we could hear her screaming or crying, but then when we started hearing her singing, we'd look at each other. She's singing again, she's getting better.
And then when she says, oh, I'm gonna try out for Teen Star, you know, at first one would think, my reaction would be like, what? You can't even get, what? But my reaction was, go get him, girl.
So we looked it up online, and it was exciting to know that Mary wanted to be a part of the community and be a part of life again.
Yeah, it was hard catching a breath, but then I started practicing and saying, oh, I'm gonna become a great singer. I gotta do this, and that just really pushed me through.
I think both our families have always had music in our lives, and it's always been positive. And we play, and our kids pretty much took it upon themselves to just dabble with it and take it for enjoyment purposes, not something that they had to do but wanted to do.
Music played an integral role in her resolving these problems.
I think the first time that I heard or seen anything is when Mary Grace is rolled into the audition room.
So you're Mary Grace.
We go through the interview process, big personality, bigger than life, and then we asked her, okay, what are you gonna sing for us today? And she opened her mouth to sing, and oh my gosh. It wasn't just the fact that she had this physical limitation that was obvious. It wasn't the fact that she was 12 years old. It was the fact that she's singing like Etta James, 30 years old. It just blew us away.
And that evening when we saw her face on the computer, we started screaming and crying, and it was, I think, our first tears of joy in a long time.
I was so honored to be able to have the chance to try out for Teen Star.
So, Kieran?
On the rehearsal day, they are doing sound checks. Then what we do is we start running the show from start to finish so that the kids know exactly where they're going to go and what they're going to do.
Everyone line up in your order for the group number.
We knew that we all had a passion for the arts, and we were all nervous, and we were just helping each other. And it was a really good feeling.
La, 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 la. Starting in 2 minutes.
She was in the mix where she really fit, but every rehearsal was always a question in our minds, would she make it through? She'd have to take pain pill before, pain pill after.
No one really understood what Mary Grace was going through, especially in those rehearsals and the process. She had such a positive attitude.
We were just happy to bring her there and get her some fresh air and, just get her going again in life.
It has given her something to look forward to, something to push hard for. When we come into the finale for Teen Star, that night is absolutely electrifying. The group number begins, and now everything starts unfolding. So each one of the contestants start performing one at a time through 10.
Just trying to.
You were the first, so was I.
Well, there is something going down.
Only know you love her when you let her go.
Why don't you come on over, Valerie?
No backing down, I'm coming for you now.
Such a beautiful disaster.
Well, for the first song, I chose I Have Nothing by Whitney Houston, and it just meant a lot of sentimental value to me, and it was such a powerful song, and I felt if I could really grasp that song and put it in my heart, that would be amazing and an honor to do, just to sing.
The most brilliant moment of teen star history.
That was so spot on and so beautiful.
The song was such an anthem for you.
The audience then votes, and then we have intermission, and we come back.
I don't know who the finalists are, you don't know, and neither do they.
All 10 contestants are backstage.
A minute seemed like an hour. We were just so excited.
No one knew who was going to perform next on the stage.
I was actually patting Luana's arm, and I was like, "You got this, girl." And it was just a silence of nervousness, yet happiness.
First finalist, Dylan.
And then you could see
Ortega.
everybody just being excited for Dylan and congratulating him. He goes out, he performs. Next one was Carly, and she's announced, and again, the camaraderie and the pulling for each other was right there. And then Luana was announced as she came out, and congratulations all over the place for each other. And then
Mary Grace Langhorne.
It hadn't really happened before, but there, I guess, was a tie, and I was the 4th finalist. It's nerve-wracking the second time because you're like, oh wait, I have to amp up my game, or I just have to sing with extra soul.
How I feel, oh, freedom is mine, and I am feeling good.
so we get to the end of the
And then if
show,
I can
and
get
we
the
bring
rest of
all
the
the
finalists
finalists and
to line up
contestants
right
back
behind
out on
here.
the stage to announce who the winner is going to be.
Let's hear it, guys, come on.
It was a moment of so much appreciation, and I was just overwhelmed. And so excited for all of us, because we all won it together. We all won Teen Star together.
Mary Grace Langhorne.
For that moment, it was Mary Grace's moment. And it was so exciting to see how everybody rallied behind her. Not only contestants, but all the fans that rushed the stage to just want to touch Mary Grace.
It is an incredible healer. Music therapy is incredible. Just having this venue here, Teen Star in Santa Barbara, it helps bring kids out of the woodwork that normally wouldn't get the opportunity to express themselves, and help them build the courage to do things later in life, that they can look back upon that experience and use that as a foundation to do good things. I believe this has been very helpful for Mary. It actually was one of the key therapies in her physical disability and to get her to where she is now.
I am praying and hoping that when Teen Star 2015 rolls around at the Granada Theater in February, that she will be standing on that stage singing her champion song.
Here's a short note for you. Famous frontman Dave Grohl of the Foo Fighters played drums for Nirvana.
Why do bands have bass players? To translate for the drummer. So a lot of people think that drummers are better known for their beats than brains. There is research that does suggest they might actually be natural intellectuals. Professor Fredrik Uhlin from the Karolinska Institute in Stockholm concluded there was a link between intelligence, good timing, and the part of the brain used for problem solving. Scientists who asked volunteers to keep time with a drumstick before taking an intelligence test found out that those with the best sense of rhythm also scored highest in mental testing. The drummers who scored the highest were also better in keeping a steady beat. It seems that figuring out how to play in time is just another form of problem solving. At last, hard proof that John Bonham really was a genius.
Thanks, Decker. Now we know drummers are the smart ones. With me again is singer-songwriter Valarie Mulberry. So we got a chance to talk about the actual music, but I'm always so curious. When you play a live show, is there anything like unpredictable or crazy that ever happens to you?
Yeah, one of the most unique experiences happened recently here in Santa Barbara when I was playing a gig. A drunk man I don't know. He took a liking to me, and he asked me to marry him. And then he
did you say yes?
Oh, I said, well, he made me a good offer. He said that he would take my last name because my last name was, so unique and cool.
That's very interesting.
I should have went over to the courthouse.
Yeah, right. Next time, I'm sure he'll be back. Okay, so now it's time to find out what beer and the band Buellton have to do with each other.
We were looking for a name, and they're hard to get, they're hard to think up, and I thought of Buellton. And knowing that it was a local name, we didn't know if the locals were going to dig it, but we thought people out of the area would think it's kind of cool.
Boston did it, Chicago did it, Kansas, Moab, early a lot of
Asia. You're now continents. I mean, you can go, Japan. That's a band.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. So we went with Buellton.
The origins of the band, basically, I became smitten with a record that John was a major part of it, and I called him out of the blue. I mean, we didn't really know each other. We had a friend in common, and I asked him, come to Santa Barbara, let's make a record. Yeah, let's do that, which we started making some music together. It clicked, and we ended up making a record, Avenue of the Flags, put that out in 2001.
Avenue of the Flags was met with, for a little Santa Barbara band, some critical press, and we toured a little bit. And
good critical.
Yeah, good critical, not bad critical. And I just kind of stopped writing songs. So that's 2003. But so the band fizzled at that point, and it was amicable, and everybody went their own way.
John and I did get back together and started producing Silent Partner.
So in 2009, April, we were about halfway done with recording tracks for the record, and I came home from a practice one night, and my wife found a lump in her breast, and she ended up having cancer, and I knew we found out she was going to have to go through chemo and radiation, and so I knew that, and I had a 2-year-old at the time, and so we just, I knew that I was out for at least a year, and we started recording again in 2010. So.
And she was at the show last week, and
yeah,
she's doing great.
Yeah.
When it came time to put the record out and start looking at how we're going to get it out there, we'd been working on this record for a long time, a number of years. Each of us had
started other projects,
families. There's other bands we've been in that are going concurrently with this, and a couple players in Buellton didn't want to keep going, and so at that point, John and I wanting to get this record out there, and we got in touch with Graham, we got in touch with Kurt, and they fit right in.
So Kurt used to play in this, I mean, we're going back 10 years, playing this band called Supersonics, and I used to see his band play, and I thought, oh, that's a really talented, kind of artistic guitarist.
I had a little bit of part in the Buona Pasta history.
Buona Pasta was the name of the studio on Haley that we had for 10 years.
Right, 2 blocks that way. So, buddy of mine, Dane, and I were in a surf rock band, local surf rock band. He was good buddies with Tad, who was in Buellton. So we were all excited to go to this hot studio with these local guys that we kind of knew, kind of didn't. So we kind of were, ships passing in the night that way, and saw their equipment, listened to some pieces of their music, enjoyed that. But it wasn't to be until years later that we actually kind of...
Probably 10 years later.
10 years later, started playing music together, so...
And Graham, I've known, Graham makes wine. What's the name of your wine, Graham?
It's Forsando wine. I knew he was a musician and he knew I was a musician, but I wasn't really familiar with his band. And, fast forward 8 years later, and we were running into each other at various breweries, coincidentally. And he said, hey, I made a new record, and I'm looking for a bass player. I said, yeah, I'll check out the record. And immediately loved it, thought it was great stuff, and was eager to jump in there. So it was a pretty quick fit.
So we had this idea to release the record on a bottle of Telegraph Beer. One of the things that we had to think about was how to put a download code on the label that someone couldn't take a picture of and then go download the record. We ended up coming up with the idea to put it, this is called a cork and cage here, and so we put the download code in between the cork and the cage. There's instructions here, how to download the record, and yeah, this is our record.
And Kurt, I'd like to add, had a big hand in helping create the label itself and some of the art there.
And Jeff Peters is credited for the label image there. Los Angeles area painter.
Well, we're going to try to, the beer has been pushed out and it's going to be distributed in 7 or 8 states, and we're going to try to tour the record a little bit in those particular markets, mainly California, and yeah, just push it as far as we can.
Here's a short note for you. During battles in the Civil War, it was hard to hear officers' orders, so drummers used beats to represent those orders. The long roll meant attack. Welcome back. With me again is singer-songwriter Valarie Mulberry. So Valerie, exciting news. You have one of your songs playing on commercial radio. For all the other artists out there, how does somebody go about accomplishing that?
Well, I think you have to be very persistent and just go for it. I just called up the radio station where I grew up, and I asked if they're open to playing, local music and
personal connection.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't know them and they didn't know me. I'd moved away a long time ago, but they were open to it. So they listened to my music and they did put it in rotation. So my song Unravel is in rotation in Oregon.
That's so exciting. Congratulations. And I'm sure we will hear it up here very soon. So with that, let's listen together as we hear Valerie's single, The Simple Things.
Sunshine in the morning, cup of coffee and you on this island, ocean blue. The simple things we'll do, the simple things we'll do. From the seaside, oh, the colors I never knew. Walking in the beach tide, slowing down from that ride. Oh, with you. The simple do, simple things we'll do.
Well, that's it. I hope you enjoyed the show. And please remember to support music and musicians in your community. I'll see you next time on BackBeat. A big thanks to Playback Recording Studio for supplying the location for BackBeat. Playback Recording Studio is a cutting-edge recording facility for film, television, and music production. Santa Barbara Bull's education outreach provides much-needed support for music and performing arts events and programs for area students. $1 of every ticket sold to Bull events helps to fund arts education throughout Santa Barbara County.
For more information on BackBeat, go to our website, cox8tv.com, or you can email us at cox8@cox.com.